Battle Arena Birmingham is in the books, and it was an absolutely spectacular event. I'm Jendo with Combat Sports UK, and this is your Battle Arena Birmingham wrap-up.
Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
21 combined fights went down at Battle Arena Birmingham, with 15 of them ending due to a stoppage. I was lucky enough to sit down with 12 of the victors for this wrap-up, and you'll hear from all of them coming up. A massive thank you to Battle Arena for allowing us to use all video footage from this pay-per-view, as this will allow us to show you some of the highlights. Before we get into the fights themselves, we spoke with Battle Arena promoter James Price. Here's what James had to say about the event.
Joining us now is the man behind it all, the Battle Arena promoter. James, how are you feeling after what was a spectacular event in Birmingham?
It couldn't have gone any better, really. We had some really good knockouts. We had some really good finishes. All the fights were top notch, and the pro card definitely delivered.
It sure did. And we were treated to finishes galore in action-packed fights all evening, to be honest with you. So what are some of the fights or the moments that you really remember or that really stood out to you?
There was two probably main standout finishes or knockouts for me. It was George Caruana who did the roundhouse kick knockout, I think 25 seconds or 30 seconds into the first round. And then in the pro divisions, when Lucas fought Mush, and he caught him with a big right hand, and I mean, it literally lifted him off his feet. And there's a great picture, by Mark Mogridge that's caught the moment where he literally lifted him.
What did you think of the pro slate as a whole? Did it go as well as you hoped? I mean, Tuke is the new featherweight champion, and that jaw-dropping knockout in the co-main event as well. It was a pretty spectacular night.
Yeah, it went really well. I mean, we've got two standout champions now, and if you know Dylan, he's a bit of a character. So he's kind of the guy that you want to be a champion, because he's definitely going to go. Excuse me, he's definitely going to go places. Really happy with the champs. But people like Mush who lost, and people like that lost in the titles. They're still got big careers ahead of them, so we'll be seeing them back, I'm sure.
And we'll be seeing Tuke just a little bit later on the show. The crowd really brought it and made the atmosphere a special one. How awesome was it seeing that turnout and just being able to hear that crowd all night?
It was great. I mean, we sold out the event. That's all we can ask, really. The crowds that we have come to the event, I mean, a lot of them even travel. We had, I think it was something like about 50 traveling fans from Poland, which is kind of unheard of, really, for a start-off show like us. So we can't complain. They were all up for it. They were all a good group of people, and long may it continue.
With the next MMA Battle Arena taking place in July, are there any thoughts at all to what that card may look like? Is that a little bit too far in the future?
There's talk that we might actually bring the pro divisions into Nottingham on the 28th of May. Because of how well it went last time. And already we've got a headline fight there. We've got Joachim Tollefson versus Joe Cummins. We've got a few others lined up as well. So the future's actually looking very, very bright for the pro divisions, to be fair.
It sure is. And if this past event was any indication, the future is extremely bright for Battle Arena. Thank you so much, James. Let the fans know where to find you and where to find more Battle Arena content if they need you.
Yeah, it's dead easy. I say it every time. Go to www.mmabattlearena.com. That's got all the links to all our socials. It's got all the links to our YouTube and all our videos. Easiest place to go. And from there, you'll get what you need.
Spectacular. Thanks for joining us. Can't wait to speak again.
Okay, John. Thank you very much.
Matilda Aschenbrenner defeated Minnie Shai via third-round submission to open the show emphatically before Abdul Banifah and Benjamin Deheshi squared off. Abdul found a way to dig deep and get the third-round finish with a picture-perfect left hand that put his opponent out cold. I got to speak to Abdul post-fight.
Joining us now is Abdul Banifah, who is coming off of a victory this past weekend at Battle Arena Birmingham. Abdul, how is everything just a few days removed?
Yeah, hello, good night. Everything was good, very good experience, especially for my first amateur fight. Very good atmosphere, the crowd that came as well, that supported me. Everything was unexpected. It's a different world when you get in there.
How did it feel to be in front of that crowd for your first fight? Because a lot of the amateur shows don't have that kind of turnout.
Yeah, I thought I would be nervous, but I wasn't. I feel like the crowd is what made me not be nervous and made me feel more confident. And it just got me like, oh, I need to go there. I need to finish this guy.
Special feeling when you hear the crowd erupt after you win, didn't you?
Yeah, special feeling.
Was there anything you saw in the cage that surprised you from your opponent this weekend?
Yeah, especially the power. When you're sparring in the gym, obviously you're not expecting people to punch hard at you. But when I was there, you could tell for the first 5 seconds, I was like, okay, this is the level. This is how hard people punch. You could see his facial expressions as well. He was like there to kill me. Yeah,
that has to help you though for the future, doesn't it? To prepare you for your future bouts.
Yeah. Obviously, it was something that I've never experienced because I didn't really fight in the street or fought someone like. I never had really beef with anyone, so all I would do is just spar in the gym. And for the first 5 seconds, I had to adapt very quick to the power and to the situation there. So yeah, it was a very unique feeling, which I adapted to pretty quick.
Successfully, if I could add, you got the win, you got the job done. When could we see you in there next? And how many times do you want to fight this year?
So obviously, because I still go to school, I just go and get my exams done before this summer. So I'll be back by summer. Hopefully summer, August or July time.
Plenty of shows coming up. Battle arenas in July, my friend.
And after that, I'll just be fighting every month, hopefully.
That would be fun to see. You're fun in there, man. I'm glad to have you on. Like I said, I hope to have you on a bit longer in the future, my friend. Hope to see you again.
Yes, sir.
Michael Tomlinson disposed of Amai Jadebi in the second round via TKO with ruthless ground and pound, before Jack McLaughlin got a rear naked choke in the second round as well. This led into a battle of the big boys where Surin Jaff and Anas Hamrad would square off. We spoke to a victorious Anas Hamrad after his dazzling debut at Battle Arena Birmingham.
Now joining us, the victorious Anas Hamrad, who defeated Surin Jaff at Battle Arena Birmingham. Anas, how's the body feeling after that war? I see you're already in the cage.
Yeah, I feel very good, man. It was a good fight, good first experience. I feel very good right now. Thank God I got no injuries, so I'm ready to get back to it. Monday, I got back to the gym already. And
you went to a decision. It's not like it was a quick fight and with a very tough opponent in a tough fight. How did that experience help you prepare for your next fight? But man, seeing you in the cage, how are you in there after that long of a battle? You didn't even take 3 days off.
Nah, no days off, mate. We fought on Saturday. We got back to it on Monday. It was a long night. But it's good for experience, man. Got the whole 3 rounds. Felt good after. I was a little bit tired, but it felt good. Rested, ate a lot, and then got back to the gym, man. Now we're ready to find out.
How did you find out that fighting was something you wanted to pursue initially? Like, how did you stumble into it?
Sorry, say that again?
How did you find out that fighting was something you wanted to pursue and really give your best effort?
I just started the gym like about 3 years ago. Trained a little bit. To be fair, when I first started, I didn't want to fight. I just started for the fun of it. I've seen boys train, so I said, I'll give it a go. I've been to a few fights and I loved it. Since I've been to the first fight, I said, this is what I want to do. And since then, I've been loving it, man. It's a It's a great sport.
There aren't many men your size who are athletic as you are. Where does the athleticism come from? And do you think it surprises opponents? Even when they know it's coming, they can't really fully understand until you're in the cage.
Yeah, it's even though I'm 100, like before the fight, I was like 130. I weighed in at 120, but I've always feel like athletic. I can do stuff most heavyweight probably won't. And it's good, man. It's good. It's like you said, even though they know it's coming, it's a little bit hard to see. It's a little bit hard to expect.
Cameras don't exactly translate to just how crazy it is in person. But man, you fight representing Morocco. What does it mean for you to be able to fly that flag and represent your people in your fighting career?
It's great. It's great. It's really great. I've been getting a lot of support, a lot of love from my people in Morocco and from the guys here. It's great. It's an honor to be able to represent Morocco and of course represent my gym. It's like I said, it's a great honor, and it's just lovely, man. It's just lovely.
Just one more question for you, man.
Yeah, of course.
When do you plan on getting back in there? You're looking fresh. You're back in there. You just went to a decision. Can we see you just right around the corner?
Mate, I'm ready to go back next week. I feel
Next
ready.
week.
I feel healthy. We probably gonna get back to it around May. I think May there's another event, so we'll probably be there in May. And like I said, man, I feel ready. I train with the best people in the country. I go to the best gyms in the country. I feel good. I feel ready. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think at this level, I don't think a lot of heavyweight can hang around with me, man. It'll be good.
I don't either, to be completely honest with you. You're a completely different problem.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, mate.
Yes, sir. We've reached the end of this one. Let the fans know where to find you on Instagram. We'll get you out of here.
Thank you very much. Hamrad Anas MMA is my account. And thank you very much for taking the time for interviewing me. Really appreciate it.
Something tells me we'll be speaking in the future as well. Take care.
Probably.
Lloyd Poor promised to finish when we spoke last week, and he delivered. The second round was the finishing round of many at Battle Arena, and Lloyd took home the victory in the second as well with the handy-dandy rear naked choke. Here's what Lloyd had to say after the fight.
Joining us now, a man that when we spoke on the preview show, he promised we'd be speaking again. Lloyd Poor. Well, Lloyd, promise delivered. How do you feel just a few days removed?
Good. I stuck to my word. Got my journey to McDonald's. Stayed true to my word. It was a really good night. Yeah, really good.
You got to experience some time in the cage, but not too much time. You got the job done. Second round, way of submission. How did it feel on the stool between rounds and just right before you got that finish, because it came just over a minute in the second?
So the first round, obviously, I kept it standing, and then I got a knockdown as well. So in the corner, my coaches were saying, look, you got the knockdown. He's probably going to come out guns blazing. Consider the takedown. The words from my coaches, just take it down. And done that. Went to work and came out victorious, thankfully.
Battle Arena was an incredible atmosphere. How did it feel to make your first walk at an event like that?
It was cool. We had quite a big group there, so the noise was fantastic. I couldn't do anything in the cage without hearing a massive scream just after, so it was quite cool to get that experience.
The same day as UFC London, and the crowds apparently showed up and showed out everywhere because Battle Arena was popping. But with your debut out of the way, is there any added fuel to the fire? And just knowing, hey, this is for me. For a lot of fighters, that first bout really gets the competitive juices flowing.
Yeah, it's even though it was quite like a good dominant win, I was still able to take quite a lot from it to go away and work with. So I think for the plan now is just to tighten some things up and get ready for the next one. I can't wait to get back in.
What's the thought? When are you planning to get back in there, man? I mean, you looked fresh afterwards. You look fresh as a daisy right now. What's next, and how many fights this year for you?
Probably aim for three fights. I know this one, I started camp quite heavy, so it was a lot of weight to drop over the whole camp. So I was quite depleted. So I think for the next bit of time, it's just going to be getting that number down. I do love lightweight. Lightweight was a nice category for me. So it's just going to be some strength and conditioning, some more accessory work, and then when the time's right, and obviously my coaches have had a break. There was 4 of us in the same month having a fight, so my coaches did not get a break with camp and stuff like that. So I think everyone needs a bit of a breather, and then we get back to the drawing board and get back to it.
Yes, sir. You love to hear it. And man, I promised you the long form before. Now I got to make sure to get you on. Thank you so much for joining us, Lloyd. Again, he was successful in his debut. He promised, he delivered. Something tells me you're one of the guys who's not going to struggle to pull a crowd.
Yeah, nah. We'll see.
Benoit Pregent was up next, and he brought the victory home to France in a razor-thin fight. We spoke to Benoit on the preview show and caught up with him after he was victorious as well.
Now joining us is Benoit Pregent, who defeated Matthias Ursau at Battle Arena Birmingham to improve his amateur record to 6-0. Benoit, how does it feel now that you've gotten the win?
I'm really happy, and I have to say I really enjoyed all the atmosphere here in Birmingham in Battle Arena. It's quite different from what I have experienced in France.
The crowd was full. The atmosphere was pretty crazy. How did it feel walking in front of that crowd?
It was kind of weird because I thought I might have some pressure, but I had nothing, I think it's because I train with people that are just so strong. So it was okay. I was just so excited.
You looked comfortable everywhere. You moved the record to 6 wins, 0 losses. How many amateur fights do you take until you start to think, hey, maybe we go pro?
I don't know. To be honest, I want to have a lot of experience in amateur. So pro is not for now. The next step is IMAF European Championship is in May, and I'll do at least 1 year in amateur, maybe another one more, and we'll see. But I'm not in the urge to go pro for now, to be honest.
It's a good approach. A lot of guys are getting the experience at amateur and then going to pro. You're just ready for it, man. What does it mean for you to be able to fight and represent your country of France?
I'm really happy. Like you saw that I showed I wore the France flag. I think it was important because to show that France in MMA in France is progressing because it's still young. So I think we got to show that we're here, and yeah.
With the IMAFs in May, you've mentioned them already. Is that when you plan to be in the cage next?
Yeah, it's IMAF in May. I think it's funny because there will be my twin brother also doing this tournament. So yeah, it's the next step.
A big night for your family, man. Congratulations. Enjoy this win and get back in there. Hopefully we'll be speaking to you before the IMAFs in May, my friend.
Yeah, hopefully.
Brandon Frost defeated George Benson via unanimous decision, and Kean Kelly was awarded with a victory via doctor stoppage over Cletty Disha. The championship fights would follow, with George the Dragon Caruana making a statement and delivering a head kick heard around the world to crown himself the British champion. It's always good to catch up with George, and especially after a win.
Now joining us is a man who we spoke to last week for the preview, but he was a bit younger and a little bit less hardware. George Caruana, how are you feeling? Only a day removed from your birthday, but a few removed from becoming the British champion over there at Battle Arena.
Yeah, it feels good. Getting a lot of support, which is nice. I'm just feeling good off the win and ready to, like I said in the last last interview to probably turn the chapter now.
Having suffered the defeats you did throughout your amateur career, how does it feel now having that belt and being able to almost validate this part of your journey?
Yeah, it's interesting because it feels like this is what I believed I could do, but just never come out. And then obviously all down to timing. 25 seconds in a British title, and couldn't have went better, to be fair.
The head kick heard around the world. You've spoken about your faith many times. Did your faith help you keep the course and continue pushing forward in your fighting career, where now, like you said, hey, everything's kind of coming together?
Yeah, massively. Even for this fight, yeah, it seems like each fight I sort of grow into the word of God. I'll keep reading it. And what was put on like my heart in the morning of the fight was to read Joshua. So I read Joshua, and like I said in my interview, these two words honestly kept me going, and I'd repeat them to myself. And that was confidence and determination. And that's what the Lord said to Joshua when he went to go, I think, into Israel it was at the time.
It's hard to beat that type of motivation, man. You're going in there with a fight that's a little bit bigger than the fight itself. When do you plan on getting back in there? And is it going to be to defend this belt? I mean, there's not much marks on you. You're looking pretty.
Yeah, because that was very quick. Probably I've been after a fight, and I feel like amateur. I've pretty much ticked everything off. Like, I've had a lot of ring time. I've obviously challenged myself against better people, and that come out. I got beat against them, but as times progress, my skills levels come up, and I feel like getting a knockout was sort of the last thing I wanted and needed to do. And now that's sort of been done, I've got to speak to my coach, but I'm looking to make my pro debut probably on Fight Star Champion.
That would be spectacular. When is that?
June the 18th.
June 18th. George Caruana, the Dragon, professional debut in June. I saw the pictures you put up on Instagram wearing the belt. I believe it was family. It may have been friends. I'm not too sure. How were their reaction to seeing you with the belt in person?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Like, probably the pictures you saw were of my coach, Kev Capel, down at RGA Bucks, and then Tom Creasy, who's also just my main sort of train partner, sparring partner, killer of a MMA flyweight and fighter, human as well. So yeah, them, and they were just grinning ear to ear. So,
who was happier, you or the coaching staff?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know.
It's a loaded question, isn't it?
Yeah, because it definitely didn't sink in that night, because I just, not even the adrenaline got pumping or anything. It was just pure relaxation, like I hadn't even had a fight sort of thing.
Well, as soon as you were ready to go home.
Oh, well, yeah. I was ready to take that belt home.
Man, that's all we have for now. We've spoken in the DMs, and something tells me we're going to have you on the channel quite a few times, my friend. Let the fans know where to find you on Instagram. We'll get you out of here.
Yes, on Instagram, it's at George the Dragon 1997. Yes.
There it is. George Caruana, your new Battle Arena champion, and soon to be making his pro debut. Something says June will be speaking. I'll see you soon, my friend.
Not wanting to be outdone, Summer Onley made a statement when she captured the amateur bantamweight women's championship at the expense of Charlotte Cooper, disposing of her in under 2 minutes via TKO on the ground. Summer is truly one of the most complete women's prospects in the UK scene. We were lucky enough to speak with her after this win.
Now joining us is Summer Onley, who got a first-round stoppage victory over Charlotte Cooper this past weekend at Battle Arena Birmingham to become the new women's bantamweight champion. Summer, how are you feeling just a few days removed? We saved the best for last.
Yes. No, I'm still buzzing. I I was buzzing all weekend. Then I kind of went back to work and it kind of dulled down a little bit. But I'm still on cloud nine really. So yeah, still really good.
Did you go in there expecting an early finish, or did you just take what was given to you in there?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. I was wanting it to go a couple of more rounds to get some more cage time, but I think either she slipped or like there was a leg kick that I threw in, like it threw her off balance. But if she goes to the ground, obviously I'm going to jump on her, you know. So yeah, but I didn't expect it to kind of go in round one. I was expecting I wanted a finish, but I didn't want it to be, well, obviously it's good that it went first round, but yeah, I didn't expect it to be that early, to be honest.
The record now stands at 4-0, 4 finishes, and your last 2 opponents especially were as tough as can be. Some fighters want to do as many amateur bouts as possible. Others want to promptly go pro. Is there any thought into when you may look at going pro?
Yeah, it kind of depended a lot on this fight, really. I mean, obviously, I've just beat the 2, what in my eyes, the best in the country. Like Lexi and Charlotte were like up there. So yeah, I suppose 4 amateur fights isn't that many, but it's kind of depending on whether or not I can get a matchup at amateur. If not, it might have to be that I'll go pro, which I'm not really that fussed about. It depends on like what my coach says. We might have to do another amateur fight or we go to pro, but yeah, that's kind of like in talks at the moment as to when that's going to be. So not entirely sure yet.
With how impressive you've looked, it's got to be in talks. You've finished all 4 of your victories, as I mentioned. Do you pride yourself a little bit on being someone who finishes fights, or is it just something that has presented itself to you?
No, I really don't want it to go to a judge's decision because I want there to be no doubt that I won. I know that a few people said that it stopped early with the ground and pound, but I think it was either it was going to be TKO or I'd eventually get the rear naked choke. But yeah, I do pride myself in trying to get as many finishes as possible. Like with the knee bar with Lexi, I wasn't prompting for that, but yeah, we drilled it so many times in fight camp that I kind of had it in the back of my head and it was just there, like perfectly set up. So, but yeah, like I don't ever. Well, I mean, eventually it might go to a judge's decision, but yeah, I do pride myself in trying to get a finish because I feel like in female MMA, I don't feel like there's quite a lot of decisions. So I like to stand out a bit more to try and get a finish in all my fights. So yeah.
Stand out, you do. We know that it might be professional, it might be amateur, but when are you thinking of getting back in the cage? Could we see you in there soon? You've got to be pretty fresh.
Yeah. I mean, I had no injuries from that fight, so I mean, I could go like next week if I wanted to. But yeah, I'm hoping maybe May or June time. Again, I'll have to talk to my coach and see what the crack is really. But yeah, I'm hoping to get in there as soon as possible because in between this fight and my last fight, it was 6 months. That's just way too long. So yeah, hopefully not that long this time.
It sure is. Summer, thank you so much for being this easy to schedule with. Finally getting you in here. As I said, we saved the best for last. Let the fans know where to find you on social media and we'll get you out of here.
I'm mostly on Instagram and I'm just at Summer Onley MMA. So nice and easy to remember.
Only O-N. Because for some reason, everywhere I look, I see O-L. It's O-N-L-E-Y, Summer Only.
It's not Only, Only, whatever it was.
Sean Clancy improved to a perfect 7-0 with a quick first-round stoppage via rear naked choke over Jamie Hayes, and he was excited to chat with us afterward.
Joining us now is 7-0 amateur prospect Sean Clancy, representing Scotland, who just defeated Jamie Hayes via rear naked choke in the very first round at Battle Arena Birmingham. How's the vibe just a few days after the victory?
Still, the buzz doesn't leave me for a wee while. It always stays, but I get itchy knuckles quite quick, just the same. So good. But taking this week a wee bit easier, and then next week when the proper training camp starts again, I'm still back at the gym. So,
well, with a rear naked choke in basically no time at all, how good does it feel to take care of business so early in there?
Oh, I love that. If I could finish the fight in the very first like 2 seconds, that would be ideal. But it doesn't like, it's not a main factor. Obviously, I can go as many rounds as I need to. I'm a professional in that way, so but I do love an early one now, kind of like.
With that little cage time, does it have you looking around the corner to when you're going to fight next already?
I've got a couple of fights like just in the crosshairs. So I think I've got one in May, and I'll look at the IMAS in July as well, and then there's obviously that battling in as well in July. So I've got a lot of options and stuff like that. I'm going to be staying active, very, very active first half of this year.
And you've got 7 amateur fights under your name already. How many do you plan on getting in there? Do you have any idea of how many total is the plan before going pro, or is it just go with the flow, see how you feel?
Go with the flow, see how I feel. It's more, I was supposed to have like minimum 10, but it's looking like I'm probably going to have more than that. So it's ideal as well, to be honest. So I'll be going pro by the end of this year.
By the end of this year, more than 10 fights by then. That means at least 3 more. We got 9 months. We're going to see a lot of Sean Clancy. Where could we see you fight next? You did say the IMAFs. You did see Battle Arena in July. Is that what you see next for yourself?
Yeah. I'm sure there's I don't even know if it's been announced this show or not yet, but well, I know that there is a show on in May. I think it's quite a local one to me. So
Dylan Tuke is going to be fighting in Glasgow. We just spoke about it in May.
There you go. Yeah, same show then. Same show. I don't know if is it Glasgow or Paisley's. I don't know.
He said Glasgow, but he also said he wasn't completely sure. So with that being said, May, we may see you in Glasgow. July, we may see you in Battle Arena and the IMAFs. Sean Clancy's all over in 2022, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm staying very, very active this year. It was quite making up for lost time last year. I had umpteen training camps and just never got any. Well, I got one fight, but I was like I wanted at least like 5 or something last year. So this year, if everything goes to plan, then I'm getting minimum 5, like 8 fights, and minimum 7 fights. Sorry, in the first half of this year. So everything going to plan. That would be.
And that would be spectacular, getting you in there that many times. And then let's get you pro. Thank you for joining us so much, man. I'd love to have you on in the future a little bit longer. Again, we don't have too much time for this one. But thank you, Sean. Let the fans know where to find you on social media. We'll get you out of here.
Instagram, Sean__Clancy. And Facebook is Sean Clancy Jr. Not got Twitter on my handle yet.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us, man.
Dylan Lagoy defeated Chrissy Mountford to take his gold in a decision victory. This all led in to the dazzling Alice Ardelean, who achieved a ruthless finish from the top over Jenny Line. Alice has really come into her own since switching training camps, and she's one you have to keep an eye on. Here's what Alice had to say post-fight.
Now joining us is the jaw-dropping and show-stopping Alice Ardelean, who is coming off of an impressive victory at Battle Arena, Birmingham. Alice, how is everything so soon after the fight?
Wow, everything is actually amazing after the fight because I was so stressed before my fight. Like, I think I lost about 5 years of my life stressing, the feeling. I was like, I can't breathe. But now I'm just, how do you call it? Relieved.
Relieved. There it is.
Relieved. Yeah. And now
you were able to finish her. You didn't just get the win. You got the job done very early. How did it feel to finish her so dominantly and so fast?
Was not. That was the last thing that I was actually expecting to finish the fight. Because if you look at my past fights, first round is a bit weird for me, and then the second I get, I'm a long distance, no, not distance, but like the third round is my best round actually.
Mm-hmm.
So
you get better
it was
as
a
it
bit
goes longer.
Yeah. So it was a bit unexpected. Like she shoot for the double leg, and she kind of not missed it, but like I reversed her, and I was just ground and pound. I didn't, lost the chance to actually finish the fight there. I'm super amazed. Like, honestly, I cannot believe it myself because I think I've never stopped any fight. I stopped one, but it was in the third round.
This one was right from the jump. It started, it was over.
Yeah, okay.
I wanted to ask about 3 of your fights, specifically from the past. Very early in your career, you faced Diana Belbitsa, Cristina Stanciu, and Zhang Weili. All 3 of them ended up in the UFC, and Zhang obviously became a world champion. Do you ever look back and just realize, wow, the competition you faced, and how much did you learn from those fights?
Yeah, I am obviously, past is past, whatever. I've had my ex-managers, my ex-people around me weren't really professional. So they were just throwing me into fights, and it was like, do you want to fight? Do you want to fight Bailey? Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
If you ask a
Yeah,
fighter if they want to fight, they want to fight.
yeah, basically I knew I was a can, but I was like, okay, cool, well, maybe I can beat her, but like without having no ground game, without having a plan, because I didn't really used to do ground stuff until I actually moved in England. So I had just a bit of a striking, and I was like a journeyman. I don't even know how to call it. It was a bit of a...
You were still fresh in the sport, very fresh.
Yeah, I
A
was
rookie,
actually.
we could say.
I was actually, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm looking back, like I don't know. I feel like obviously I wasn't ready for none of them.
At this stage, you've already faced tougher competition than a lot of the ladies that are in the UFC. I wanted to ask further, what does it mean to you to be fighting and representing the country of Romania with ladies like Belbița and Stanciu who have entered the UFC? And outside of the UFC, we have women like Marina Mavro, who is the founder of Women Who Fight, among others. Romanian women are starting to make a pretty good impact on combat sports. What does that mean for you?
Because I've been living in England for 6 years almost. I don't really have contact with Romania a lot. Like, I'm happy, obviously, because, it's my country, it's Romania. It's something interesting because, yeah, it's proper interesting to see, especially girls fighting in the UFC, like Belbița and Christina Stanciu. Also, we have a guy as well, Nicolae, and he's been smashing it as well. Yeah, I'm happy actually. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for myself. I'm trying to get there as well too. And I've been training really hard since I moved here in England, and I have a professional team behind me, as you can maybe even see at my results since I moved here. Like, I've never lost a fight. And it's great. Like, I'm looking forward to the future, I guess.
So when many people see your physical appearance, they tend to look over your fighting ability. You've been taking fights for over 8 years, and you've been training for quite some time. How did you decide that you wanted to fight, and how have you kept training for so long? Because so many people just fall out of it.
Yeah, I started to fight when back in the day in my hometown. I used to play Counter-Strike, and I had a team and everything, and we were talking a lot of crap over the keyboard warriors, all of us, not just me. And yeah, there's some guys threatening me that they're gonna beat the hell out of me, and I was like, oh my God, what if somebody actually comes and, kick me and stuff like that? And I'm like, oh, let me just try do some, I don't know, some kickboxing maybe. So maybe I can learn how to defend myself. And that's how it all started. And we were just a group of friends training. And then I really liked it. I felt like, oh shit, it's so good. It feels so good to punch. And
it clicked.
And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep going. And I was like, I had few goals as well. Like, I want to be in the newspaper in my hometown, and I want to be on TV, and then I want to be that. And I keep having these goals, and yeah, kind of reached them all.
Well,
It's
considering
crazy.
the following that you've developed on social media, the longer that you fight, I truly believe that, hey, onwards and upwards, you're a star in the sport, you're marketable, and you're great on the microphone. Doesn't hurt to look the way you do. What do you have to say before we let you go?
I just want to, thank everybody that came and support me for my fight. I don't know. I want to thank my team firstly, like, shout out to my team, Ronin MMA,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, they are the best. Like, it's the best thing that happened to me lately in my whole life. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here if they wouldn't believe in me, obviously.
We can see it.
So-
A winning streak is coming together. You're looking better and better in there. Who knows what's to come? Thank you so much for joining us, Alice.
you.
I hope to speak to you again in the future.
I hope that. Thank you for having me.
Will Jones got a rear naked choke victory in the first round before the vegan fighter Nick Hayes squared off with Patrick Bright. Nick pulled out the victory, and we were able to catch up with him as well.
Joining us now is Nick Hayes, who just defeated Patrick Bright at Battle Arena Birmingham. Nick, how are you feeling just a few days removed from that fight?
Good. I was a little bit sore next day, but good. Otherwise, good.
Was there any adversity you faced in this fight that you didn't expect going in?
Well, yeah, I didn't expect to get dropped twice in the first minute.
It was a tough beginning, but you rebounded well. What allowed you to rebound so well, especially getting dropped that many times that early on?
I'm not fucking losing. As soon as I went down, I thought I'm not losing. I'll get knocked out trying to get back up. Is what I kept saying to myself.
Well, that's the mentality you need, isn't it? After a decision victory, though, this past weekend, did your body need a little bit of recovery time, or was it just right back to the gym?
Oh no, I need a little bit. I was dazed all through the fight. I was rocked the whole way through it. So, I don't remember it. I got him. I went on autopilot. I went on autopilot, I think.
I see on Instagram that you went on a bike ride with Jordan Vucenic earlier today. How did that come to be, and how do you guys know each other so well?
Well, we've trained. I've known him. We've trained together since the start. Really. Since 7 years. So I've just I train with him all the time, pretty much. We did that whole last camp together. So that's just a normal training for
how is it to switch up your training and do things like that? Bike rides through some nicer areas. It's not so nice to go into the gym when it becomes routine. A lot of people don't like the routine. How does it feel to switch it up and just do a little different things?
Felt good, really good. I'm enjoying the sun. It's just been shit weather for the past few months now, so getting to enjoy the sun was great.
One thing I wanted to touch on is the fact that you're vegan. What went into the decision to be vegan, and what benefits do you think you've seen from that?
Well, the decision that was ethical. I was brought up. My parents, they're Buddhist teachers. They've traveled the world teaching Buddhism. So I was always taught a lot of, not to hurt animals and all that stuff. And when I used to eat meat a long time ago, I wouldn't even kill an insect. So, and then the hypocrisy went to me: if I can't kill an insect, then I can't. I can't eat meat. I couldn't kill it. If I couldn't kill it, why could I eat it? So
that's an interesting way of going about it. And that thought process shows me a lot about you as a person. I respect that entirely. Have you seen any benefits at all, or any differences at all in the way that your body reacts to the training or anything at all?
I couldn't really tell you because I've been vegan pretty much my whole fight career. So it's not one, I'm not going to lie and say, oh, it does this. I've just always been vegan for it. So
no, that makes sense. When could we potentially see you in there again, my friend?
Maybe I'm gonna have a few months just to learn, get better, just improve, and then straight away we'll book a fight when I feel like it's time. Probably autumn, I reckon.
We look
maybe end of summer.
End of summer. That would be fantastic to see. We look forward to seeing you in there. There's some fun cards coming to be in the summer, so who knows where we can see you. But hopefully to speak to you again. It's been awesome having you on. Let the fans know where they can find you on Instagram.
Just at Nick Hayes MMA. Nice and simple.
Hayes with an E. I was looking for you last week, man. I wanted to get you on the preview show, but I couldn't find it looking for the A. It's Nick Hayes with the E.
Hayes with an E, yeah.
Stanimir Modrov saw a unanimous decision victory over Sergiu Bagrin next and set the table for Haley Valentine to go secure a second-round stoppage and a seat at the winner's table. I caught up with an elated Haley Valentine.
Joining us now is the 2-0 pro Haley Valentine, coming off of a dazzling victory over Dalia Mocha at Battle Arena Birmingham. Haley, how was everything just a few days removed?
It was obviously, I wouldn't say stressful, but it was just calm and collected. And that build up on the days, like it just came all at once, excited, nervous, everything all at the same time.
You had a really impressive showing in there. Was there anything that you had to adapt to on the fly and just kind of get over in the meantime?
No, nothing surprising. Like I knew she was going to have a long reach. I knew she was going to be a bit taller than me. So I knew just closing that distance with her was known. Just working to my strengths and just being calm, not rushing anything.
You had 6 amateur fights, wins, losses, finishes, decisions, a little bit of everything. How did that help you prepare for this current pro run?
Honestly, it's experience. As much experience I wanted to. And when that time was to go pro, they all saw that I was ready, and just preparation all throughout those experiences got me to where I am today, to be fair.
How much different is it in preparation for an amateur bout compared to a professional bout?
It's all in your mindset, I'd say. It's just like you've got to be not just switched on, but just be aware, like obviously there's going to be a little bit more elbows, knees to the head. And it's just, for me, it's just having that mindset ready for like, it's going to be a good fight. You're up in those higher ranks. You're ready for anything that's going to come at you, to be fair.
Did you feel anything in your body when it goes a little bit longer? The rounds are a bit longer as well. Instead of 3x3, we're going 3x5 in the pros.
No, I train as much as I can, ready for like even 5 rounds. Just like I know that I'm mentally ready, I'm physically ready. Even for it to go the distance, I know that I am ready to go the distance no matter what.
In a perfect world, how many times do you fight this year?
Look, I'd love to get 3 fights this year. That's my dream. Not getting 1 fight a year. I want at least 3 fights this year. I want more coming.
Is there any idea of where your next fight may take place or where you want it to take place at all?
Unfortunately not. I'm just waiting to see what we can get. But at the moment, like I'm training. I'm back to train today, to be fair, and just straight back into it.
Something tells me people are going to be calling for Haley Valentine. 2-0 as a pro. The third time may be the charm to get you some nice calls moving forward. Thank you so much for joining us.
Lucas Waridowicz delivered one of the highlights of the evening when he leveled Mush Aslani and sent him airborne to the canvas. An absolutely spectacular finish in the co-main event. Dylan Tuke returned from a 4-year absence to capture the Battle Arena Pro Featherweight Championship at the expense of a very game Nikolai Pirogan. Dylan is somebody you will have to keep an eye on. There are some fighters who just have it, who are just dripping in charisma, and Dylan is one of them. This is going to be a kid that we see on our screens for a very, very long time. And here is his first appearance with Combat Sports UK.
Now joining us, the man who is coming off of his main event victory over Nikolai Pirogan at Battle Arena Birmingham to become the Battle Arena Featherweight Champion, Dylan Tuke. Dylan, how are you feeling just a few days from your long-awaited return, man? You haven't done an interview for quite some time.
Yeah, I don't really like journalists, to be honest.
I don't blame you.
Most of my little fake rats, but I have obviously I'm doing this interview now, and I have an interview planned out with an Irish reporter on the weekend. I just kind of want to talk about some things and just but I'm just not a big fan. I don't like getting asked the same questions all the time, I suppose.
No, I get it. I've heard it from a lot of higher level guys as well, because a lot of the higher level UFC guys we speak to just say it's copy and paste. Everyone asks the same questions. None of that is what you guys want to hear. I did want to ask though, how did it feel in there after taking about 4 years off between fights? You said you never wanted it to happen again. How did it feel in the cage on Saturday?
Normal. It felt good. It felt nice. It just felt like every Friday and Sunday, where every sparring day, it felt the exact same. And obviously, once I won, that kind of feeling kicked in of where it's like, oh, but I suppose I try and play down the night I try and make it as normal as possible. A legend of UK MMA and world MMA, Carl Hanswell used to say, "It's just another day. It's the same as every other sparring session and every other day in the gym." The issue is when you make it into this big theatrics, and that's why people crumble under pressure, because they make it into this big life and death situation. But to me, I just like, this is all I know. I'm like a soldier going out into the trenches. Like, a soldier doesn't get nervous about going to war. A soldier just goes to war. It's what he's built to do. It's what he's trained to do. Like, and then after, I kind of realized, oh shit, I'm a little toothless kid that gets to fight in a cage where I live in my happy days. Like, and I just go berserk. Then I'm like, yeah. It was great though. It was great.
When I see you in there, it seems like you thrive in chaos. I wanted to touch on, is there anything that Nick did that made you feel a little bit more uncomfortable than you're used to?
No. All good. He wouldn't really. He's quite a stoic guy, quite a laid back guy, and he didn't really play into looking at me too much, and he was very respectful. I'm cool, like, I don't really care, like, you know what I mean. He was quick.
Your record stands 4 wins, 2 losses, right? A lot of people would look at it and write it off. I think there's a little bit of a deeper dive to go in there. Cameron Ellis and Sadiq Yusuf are your only losses, both of them still in the UFC. Sadiq is right there in the top 15 rankings, right about to get there. How would you say that those losses early on to high-level competition helped you going forward?
Yeah, like, I didn't really lose to Sadiq. Like, Sadiq really fucking touched me and caught me off balance, and then, like, that stoppage was an absolute joke.
Fast as well.
It was just a joke. I was fresh. I was 110% I was about to pop out onto the back. Fair enough, like, whatever. I shouldn't have got into that situation, but it should have never even been close to finished. And fuck him, like, you know what I mean? And then
Let's see that down the line.
I'll fucking do him someday, 110%. He took the first backward step. That's all I know. And me and Els was a little bit different. Els just caught me shy. I had been very gun shy coming into that camp. He was like a real late now. It was 3-week pull out. I was preparing for a little small stuck up wrestler. I shouldn't have been in there. That was when around that time was when everything started to kind of go sour for me with SBG, and I kind of started to find myself in a bit of a limbo situation. Like, so, but just a couple of things, and now I'm just perfect. I'm just in a great mind, and I'm not back to me, but I need someone like James Dillon around me, you know what I mean? And
how much better is your current situation?
Night and day. Like, I can't explain how, so Saturday was the weirdest thing for me ever, because I know James. I know James about 4 years. Met him 3 years ago for the first time in April. About 4 years ago I met him for the first time. Trained under him for about 4 days. After I left, the day I was leaving, I told him, I go, I'm going to save up. I'm going to move here. COVID stopped me from getting here earlier. But on Saturday, he knew me better than anyone I've ever met in my whole life. He knew how to interact with Nuke and Dale and interact with the whole situation and handle me better than I've ever been handled in my whole entire life. And I was nervous, so I was shitting myself. I hid it completely well, like, you know what I mean? But of course, like, I had my retirement speech planned out for if this fight went sour. Like, if we can't beat Nikolai.
Really? It went that deep?
Of course. I'm off 4 years. And no offense to Nikolai, he's not on my level. You know what I mean? He's not. He's not even close to my level. And I showed that on Saturday. But that's the way it should have looked. He had a very closely contested fight with a really high level prospect, Callum Mullen. Yeah, me and Callum are now teammates, and that was a good back and forth fight. But I had to show this is different. This is when it's 10 steps up here. You know what I mean? Just I had to go out there and show, well, you're a 3-minute job. No offense to him at all. Just that's how good I am. I had to prove that to myself. If I had a decision to him or anything, I would have been so upset with myself, because I would have just shown, look, this isn't meant for me. But if I had a loss to him, I was retired and I was done. I was out. I was out with this game. I sat and had that talk. I had the post ready in my head. Like, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks about me. Anyone who sits there and judges me, I don't give a fuck. I'm on a plate. This is me. I am who I am. Like, you know what I mean? But I had that in my head, and I'm not trying to sound cocky or And I thought, but in my head, I'm the best in the world. I have to show it to the world now. You know what I mean? And that was what Saturday meant to me. Saturday wasn't just, I couldn't just go out there and win. I had to go out there and fucking put, I'm back. Oh, do you hear that? Nobody said fuck all. Everyone went quiet. Every little doubt, every little mouth, every little tick that wanted to own up and say, blah, 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 blah. Doubt me now. What's up? I can't hear shit.
And you look
people
very
asking
good.
to swim me.
Passing with flying colors like that, I think it really does silence a lot of the haters. And man, now you're talking about Bellator Dublin. I really hope this comes to be, because I think they don't really realize how many people would come out to see you. How much would it mean to you to fight at Dublin?
I've already fought in Dublin. I made me debut in front of 12,000 crazy orders fans. I fought me second fight against Mark Andrew in a packed out 12,000 seat arena. And every single time I got the loudest pop. I get the loudest pop because I don't go around trying to act like Conor. I don't go around wearing Gucci. I don't go around putting on a different kind of accent and trying to talk like something I'm not. I'm a D1 thug. I'm born and bred this way. I walk around in pennies or Primark and Man Fisher clothes, Bill Hill, whatever. Like, I'm me. I'm toothless and rootless. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't. And that's why Irish people respect realness. And that's why, like, I've been there. I've done that. If Bellator don't want me on the show, I don't give a fuck. I have, I think, an even better offer that I can't wait to announce, that Mr. James Doolan has got me, and I'm fucking, once again, so grateful for this man. So, like, I just keeps on
once
giving,
you're able to
keeps
talk
on
about
after.
it, we got to jump you back on.
Oh, sorry, did I go?
Once you're able to talk about it, we got to get you back on. That'd be neat to see what's going on next.
I can't wait to announce this one. I'm fighting in May on a local show over here in Glasgow. I think on top, it's the biggest show in Scotland. Which would it would mean a lot to me to fight on that show, because James has fought on that show, Paul McFay has fought on that show. I'm almost sure. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but I know Stevie has fought on it. Stevie Ray, Stevie Mop, a lot of like legends of Scottish MMA have fought on it, and I just kind of feel like it'd be right for me to fight on it. So I can't wait to fight on that in May, and then after I have some great news to announce. I think to the world. Just happy. I'm just delighted, because it's kind of like, you sit there for the last 4 years. I've sat there kind of thinking like, oh, well, what? Like, you know, it's kind of hard once you identify yourself as what I have been since I'm a kid. Then you kind of can't really call yourself a fighter or a martial artist. You're just kind of like, I'm a civilian again. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm just ecstatic, happy on it. I'm just happy, as you can see.
Saturday took you from civilian to fighter again. I wanted to say, our founder of Combat Sports UK, Lewis Simpson, he's Scottish. I'm sure he would love to see you in Glasgow. That would be pretty neat. He's a big fan of yours as well. How does the rest of
the best Scottish journalist, Lewis Simpson? So I've heard the best.
You love to hear it. You love to hear it. He's going to be over the moon for that one. How does the rest of the year play out for you? Like, obviously, you know what's next. May the plan is, hey, Bellator Dublin or Glasgow, and then
I want to go. I'm going to go Glasgow in May, 110. That's 100%. And then I don't know. I think Battle Arena are coming up to Paisley in June, so I think it'd be nice for me to defend the belt, or else go for a lightweight belt, double weight. That'd be funny. And then I could, and then I'll either announce what I'm going to announce, or else we'll see what's going to work with there. But what James wants me out 6 times this year. So the goal is to get to 10-2 by the end of the year. 10-2 is an exceptional record, and it's not 10-2 with a lot of jabs, like a lot of little washers, like, you know what I mean. I've never fought anyone with a losing record. Mostly everyone I fought, apart from Nikolai on the weekend, unfortunately, has came off of a win. You know, so I don't take this easy road that most kids take nowadays. Like, I test myself. James is all about testing yourself. So I want to get to 10-2. 10-2 is a good record. And then I don't know where I go from there. The goal is obviously to be a UFC world champion. I don't think that's mixing up any if, ands, or buts. But like, if I could collect a Bellator world title on the way, a KSW world title on the way.
It doesn't help to put more money in your pocket.
You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. And I am a prize fighter at the end of the day. And I think a lot of people forget that. People get caught up in trying to please everyone in this whole PC world. I'm a prize fighter. I fight for money and blood. Money, blood, and fame. But you can keep the fame.
Man, it's been great to have you on. I really wish we had a bit more time, as this is just a review show. We've got to get you on. I'm sure we could go for a long, long time. Thank you so much for joining. Again, you're great at these interviews. I really hope people get you on more and do you a little better in the future. I can't wait to see you again.
It's not that people don't get me on. People beg. I just tell them no. I just tell everyone no. I was saying no. I just patch everyone. I patched like 10 crowds for coming up before that fight. Like, just said no. I was saying to loads of people. Like, no.
A special thanks to the man who hasn't been doing interviews but still found the time for us. Well, folks, that just about does it in terms of Combat Sports UK coverage for Battle Arena Birmingham. Make sure to head to the Combat Sports UK website for all things UK MMA, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. I've been Jendo with Combat Sports UK, and I'm signing off.
Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.